Okay, so I'm going to share with you a challenge that's made to both of these cosmological arguments that we've been looking at that assert that there had to have been some uncaused cause at the beginning of everything that exists on which all existing things depend for their existence. And the challenge to these cosmological arguments is best expressed as its own kind of argument. So let me share that argument with you. First premise of this argument is this. If all things that exist in the universe were caused to exist, then the universe itself was caused to exist. Premise number two says all things that exist in the universe were caused to exist, therefore the universe itself was caused to exist. Now this is a valid argument, and that means that if we regard these two premises as true statements, we would be, by logical necessity, obligated to regard the conclusion as also true. If we accepted the premises as true but rejected the conclusion, we'd be irrational. We'd be illogical. So the question is then, are these two premises actually true? Now I'm going to submit to you that premise number two is true. As far as we know, all things that exist in the universe were caused to exist. Okay, so when you sit down to eat a meal, that meal was caused to exist by whoever prepared it. When you go to look at a crater in Arizona, you know that at some point a meteor hit that surface and caused that creator to exist. So everything you look at, you realize, well, there was a cause of all of these things that exist in the universe. Nothing just popped into being out of nothing. It was brought into being by some event. All right, so premise number two is true. But premise number one causes some people to kind of scratch their chins and say, hold on, not so fast. Is it really true that if all things that exist in the universe were caused to exist, then the universe itself was caused to exist? And the challenge that people will make to this premise is this. This sentence commits the composition fallacy. It assumes that some feature of all the things that exist in the universe is also a feature of the universe itself. And they would say that's not necessarily always the case. Sometimes it is, right? You could gather all of the very best basketball players that exist in the world, put them on one team. Does that mean that the team is going to be the best team because each of its individual players are the best players? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the egos get in the way and they're not able to function as a team. Or maybe it's not even egos. Maybe they just can't, they just don't gel well together for whatever reason. And they're not actually the best team, even though it's made up of the best players. A more famous kind of example of the composition fallacy is this. Every member of the human race had parents. Does that mean that the human race itself had parents? Okay, and so the challenge here is that, hold on, you cosmological arguers here. You're assuming that just because all of the things that we see were caused, that the entire universe itself also had to be caused. And that's not necessarily true. Okay, and if you accept this, if you say, I don't think it's true or I don't think it's safe to conclude that the attribute of being caused that all the things in the universe possess is also possessed by the universe itself, then maybe those cosmological arguments lose some persuasiveness for you.